Bounce back opportunity for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight as they head to Boston to take on the Bruins after a tough weekend, dropping one on Saturday to the Bruins and then one on Sunday night to the Carolina Hurricanes, both of which games that just really highlighted some of the issues this team has been having this season. Struggling defensively, slow foot speed, and then the biggest one of all, which I think kind of ties in with the other two, is sloppy hockey. It's not just not showing up on time. It's making mistakes that don't need to be made. It doesn't have anything to do with your foot speed to be making these mistakes. It's just bad decision making. And then bad decision making gets you in trouble defensively. And this team was a team last year that it felt like night in, night out, you could rely upon to be solid defensively. It was just a matter of, are you going to get the scoring? Are you going to get the goals? Does it work out that way? Have they lost too much of the scoring? And now this year, they've swung right back to the other way where it's like, hey, they could score with the best of them, but they can't keep the puck out of their net. And now Craig Berube has challenged them after the game against Carolina, where he said, we're not valuing the defensive side of the puck nearly enough. Is this an opportunity for the Leafs to show what they have? Is this one of those nights where we really find out who they are and that's not something they can do? Do they wilt? Like, what are we going to get out of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Your guess is as good as mine, but it's an opportunity for us to learn something about this team as they travel to Boston tonight for Game 17. We'll get into tonight's lines because there are some shuffling. There is some shuffling that's taken place throughout the day here today, so we do have new lines heading into tonight's game. We'll get into who's in, who's out, what I think about these lines, as well as our best bet. It's all a presentation of Bet365. I'm Zack Phillips. Let's head on over to Daily Faceoff first and foremost to see what we've got for tonight. So, first line, first change. Knies and Matthews, they stay together. Nic Robertson in alongside them. You know what? Credit to Nic Robertson. We've talked about it all year. We've talked about it for the past couple of years. This is a guy who busts his balls every single time he goes out on the ice. You can never take that away from him. It's been consistency and execution. Does he have either of those? Nic Robertson's been one of the most noticeable players every time he's been on the ice. I can't say since game one to start this season, but he came back from getting healthy scratch not too long ago, and all of a sudden it's like a fire was lit under his ass. That hasn't been this little blip of a flame. It's been sustained. Nic Robertson has brought it every single night, every single shift that he's been out there, and he's been deserving of his top 6 opportunities. And not just that, but this one here tonight where he's going to get to go with Matthews and Knies on line 1. I like this decision. I don't know if overall, long-term, this is going to be where he slots in. It seems like they're still trying to grab another top 6 guy, but if he can be a guy who can show you, I can play in the top 6 even beyond this little stretch, this little slump. And it's not just because, I'm going and the other guys kind of look like they're a step behind. If he can prove to be a guy who can be reliable in your top 6, makes Brad Treliving's life a little bit easier. Maybe he doesn't have to go out and get multiple pieces to fit into your top 6. Maybe he's only got to go get one because Nicky Bobby was an internal solution. Hopefully that's the case. Really impressed with Nic Robertson's play so far to start this season, specifically over like the last week and a half, 2 weeks here. But good for him for getting this opportunity up front. Now, I think the biggest thing you got to tell him, play your game. It's weird because you're with Auston Matthews and you want him to be the shooter, but if he starts forcing things and it's like, I've got to pass the puck to Matthews, I've got to get the puck to 34, that's where you're going to run into problems. Play your game, be a threat, make the other team have to play you honestly. It probably makes Auston Matthews' life a little bit easier if that's the case. Like, I don't want to see, Nic Robertson's not the guy, it's Auston Matthews. I get it. I would also rather see Auston Matthews shoot the puck. But Nic Robertson can't get locked into this mindset of like, I got to pass it to him because he's the big boy. He's paid $13 million. He's the one who's got to score. Play your game. You have been a dangerous player for a decent amount of time here now. That's why you're getting this opportunity. Don't change things now. Keep doing what you're doing. Down to your second line where you see some changes. McMann, Tavares, Nylander. Now, This is kind of back to where I've been at over the past couple of game previews that we've done here on this channel. The one thing I've talked about is the balance and getting waves of attack. You lose it a little bit with William Nylander being on that first line. Now, Nic Robertson did really step up in that void, I'll say, quote unquote void there, where it's like, hey, Nylander's gone. Traditionally, I'd look at Robertson and McMann playing with JT and be like, this is a big drop off. Nic Robertson did really elevate his play and make that a little bit easier, and actually probably helped out JT a little bit, where we just saw him continue on like nothing happened around him and just continue to put up points, continue to produce. Nic Robertson was right there with him when John Tavares scores his 500th goal, 501, 502. Like, he's just continued to score, and a lot of it has been with McMann and Robertson. But putting William Nylander back there and moving Nic Robertson up, I think balances things out a little bit more, where maybe it just makes that second line a bit more dangerous. The other thing I think that this does is make Nylander the focal point of line 2, which I feel like, weirdly enough, opens him up. Now, I know that's counterintuitive, and it kind of doesn't make sense when you consider Nylander with Matthews would be like, oh, we got to watch for Matthews. Oh, no, Nylander can go do his thing. But what I mean by opens him up is his mental approach to the game rather than the opposing team's approach to William Nylander and those lines. And to expand on that a little bit further, what I mean is William Nylander is a give me the fucking puck type of player. Give me the puck. I want it on my stick. I want to do everything. I want to skate it from my end to their end. I want to hold it around the offensive zone. I want to do what I want to do, and I don't want anyone to get in the way. Naturally, if you have a guy like Auston Matthews with William Nylander who can skate better than John Tavares and much closer to William Nylander's level, then it can get a little bit divided. And this is not to say that they've been playing poorly together. We've seen them putting up points like crazy over the last little while. So it's not to knock that at all. It's more so just, hey, okay, Matthews, you're the big dog now. Nylander, you're the big dog now. Like, you go out there, have the puck as much as you want. Do whatever you want when you're on the ice. But Nylander is very much a give me the puck guy. And if he goes to JT, JT is a complimentary piece to him, which is as weird as that is to say for a guy who just put up 500, 501, 502 in his NHL career goals-wise. But JT is not the guy who's lugging the puck up the ice going coast to coast. That's Nylander, and he can kind of do his thing there. And then we saw him over the last couple of seasons playing with John Tavares. It's worked well for him when they've been together. JT's hot. Nylander's hot. Let's go together. Let's get hotter. You know, like, that line could be a very dangerous one to watch here, especially if McMann can continue this physical play of back-to-back games fighting here for him. Who knew he even had that in him? But Saturday, Zadorov sticking up for Lawton. Sunday, Carolina sticking up for Robertson. Bobby McMann's like, fuck it. I can't score every night. I'm going to fight for the boys. Somebody has to. I mean, it's not like this big fighting league anymore, but we harp on it all the time. Who's going to stick up for your teammates? Bobby McMann has answered the bell. Whether he looked like the most willing participant in the world or not, Bobby McMann has said, I'll take it. I'll fight. Somebody has to. We look like pussies if we go out there and you crank our guy, clean hit by Zadorov. I don't have an issue with what Legault did to Robertson either. It's just after the whistle, so whatever. Bobby McMann says, I'm going to have to fight you. Both of you. Takes on Zadorov on Saturday, takes on Legault on Sunday. And I think no matter the outcomes of the fight, it at least sends a message to the guys on the bench, in the room, whatever it is, on the ice with them. Hey, I will stick up for you. We do have guys to stick up for each other. And then on the flip side, it at least like sends some type of message to the other team, like, okay, we can't just do whatever we want with no repercussions. Maybe it's not the most intimidating guy in the world in Bobby McMann coming to fight me, but like, somebody's going to. So I can't just do anything. I can't run around and do whatever like a chicken with my head cut off. I have to be aware that there is something potentially coming my way. Better than nothing. I will say better than nothing. Kudos to Bobby McMann. Down to your third line, Joshua Maccelli. The day of the Utah game, I said I was not in love with Matias Maccelli. I did not know what his long-term future here was. He shoved it right in my face on Wednesday night. I think he had a goal and assist. The goal was a game winner. He looked really good. He was dishing like crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, might have been wrong there. Saturday came, scores again. I thought he looked decent. Not like he did on Wednesday, but not a fall off that was like this drastic fall off by any means. Sunday came, and as Alberga pointed out, and I agree with him, there was an element to his game that looked like he was trying to get put in the press box. Just bad decisions, sloppy with the puck, bad turnovers. If he wasn't doing that, he kind of just blended into the game and did so in like a bad way where you'd watch Waugh and Joshua at least go down and battle in the corner and try to win puck possession battles down below the dots. And then it would be like Maccelli was just kind of like hanging out. And you're like, there's no support for these guys. There was no additional offense being generated by him. He was just kind of another guy. And then he would go and do some dumb stuff. And it was like, 2 steps forward, 1 step back with Matias Maccelli. That game on Sunday against Carolina was rough. Hopefully he can sort that out here tonight against Boston. I have faith that he's a good player. My concern is more so, what's the ceiling? I don't think it's as high as we had hoped it was in the summer and hoped that, hey, maybe there's a player in there that we could get to break out. He might break out, but it just might not be what we thought it was going to be. That 57 points or whatever it was 2 years ago, maybe that's the ceiling. Maybe he can do that close to the 57 points, but maybe that's just it. Maybe the most he'll ever do is 57. Down your fourth line, Lorentz, Domi, Sammy Blais. Again, back with Max Domi at center. It's not the position I want to be in. I don't like Max Domi playing center. I think it makes him do too much. I think it gets him running around too much. I think him playing on the wing when Lawton was obviously healthy is a very freeing thing for him. I think it makes his game more simple. It's like, hey, go be a pest, go hit guys, and use skill when you have it. Don't worry too much positionally because you don't have to be the guy who's first man back, down below the goal line, supporting in your own zone, first one out on the breakout, supporting the wall as your winger's going, like Lorentz, who's getting the puck up near the blue line, got to make a breakout pass, maybe making one to a guy who should be somewhere but isn't there. And then you're also looking at him just trying to cover guys in the D zone. It can get messy. If he's on the wing, it becomes much easier for him. Simple hockey. Simple positioning, simple coverage. Like it's very simplified for Max Domi on the wing. Center, don't love it, but right now, what are your other options? Like I don't know that you have them right now. Lorentz on the wing there, he was scratched the other day against Carolina. I think some of that comes with Berube sending him a message. I don't think it has anything to do with sending the team a message, but maybe Lorentz a little bit like, hey, you haven't been going. It was a bad play that he made against Boston on the wall, on the breakout near the blue line where he turns that one over, results in a Bruins goal. Probably just saying, hey, you're not playing that many minutes. You're not contributing offensively. You can't be making decisions like that, making plays like that if you want ice time and to stay in this lineup. Like, that's not going to work for us. So Lorentz does slot back in tonight against Boston. To be honest with you, I kind of expect a response from him. Like, I feel like Steven Lorentz is the kind of guy who's going to come out with his legs flying tonight, just going up and down the ice, hitting everything, trying to be involved. Hopefully that's in a positive way. Sammy Blais, fourth line right wing here tonight. He's brought energy. I'm not going to pretend like he's been a standout player for me in any any extent of the imagination. I mean, he's been good, not great, but jumping back into into the lineup here again, Berube seems to like him, brings energy, hits things, has scored a couple points for this team. Not too much to say about Sammy Blais. Let's just quickly go over the defense for tonight's game. Riley, Carlo, Benoit, McCabe, Ekman Larson, Myers. The only saving grace is that you're not entering the game with Benoit and Myers together. That was an atrocious pairing. I'm not going to predict this because I don't know what the likelihood is that they do this thing or move these things around. If you have another bad night from Myers and or Benoit, you need to inject somebody else into this decor. And I'm not talking about Dakota Mermis. Like, I'm no prospect expert, but I know that William Villanueva, he moves the puck well, he can skate well, he can add a different element to this decor, and he's with the Marlies right now. I know that Thrun, he can move decently well, probably can move the puck better than Fleet Myers. He's a different element to this decor. And they're both younger guys that just add something different than what these guys have right now. Even if they come in and they play similar styles or play a similar style because they just try to simplify things, whatever, play at the NHL level, it's a different guy back there. And I know that can sound really stupid to be like, well, just put a different guy because it's a different guy. But if it doesn't work again tonight and Myers and Benoit struggle like they did this weekend especially, you gotta fucking try something different. Like, you cannot go back with these 6 in your next game against the LA Kings. You just can't. It's like we talked about the definition of insanity when it was Dubas and Keefe and the core 4 and trying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, saying something's got to change, trade one of the guys, recoup some assets, maybe go out there and get a big piece, make a big swap. And then they tried the same thing over and over and over, and it never worked. Now we're watching a decor that struggles night in, night out, and then it's like, put them back out, put them back out, put them back out. And I know you're in a little bit of a crunch here where you don't have the most cap space, you don't have the most roster spots, you tried Mermis, like, you're trying these pieces, but maybe it's just time you try somebody else. Somebody who hasn't got the opportunity yet and give them the elevation up to the NHL level, and maybe you find something. Maybe it makes Ekman-Larsson play a different way because he's playing with a kid. Maybe you put the kid with McCabe and it levels things out because the kid gets to play with McCabe, who's this mature guy and can teach him stuff. Like, I don't know. I know that at this point I'm kind of just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks because you're saying, hey, try something. But if I watch this decor struggle again tonight and they run it back on Thursday, I'm gonna have to wear mittens so I don't have to claw my eyes out in the game on Thursday night because it's infuriating watching it put together like this, quite honestly. Those are your D pairs for tonight. Your power play remains the same. OEL with Knies, Tavares, Nylander, and Matthews on the first unit. Stolarz does go tonight for the Boston Bruins. Your goaltender for the Maple Leafs, against the Bruins. Your goaltender for the Bruins is Jeremy Swayman on the other side. Swayman's been good, not excellent, not unbelievable, good this season. Picked things up here over the last little while where he started to look even better. And then against the Leafs on Saturday night, I thought he looked pretty good. He's not the reason the Bruins won that game, but I thought he looked good against the Maple Leafs. So that is your matchup for tonight. Now to get to our best bet segment. Our best bet is a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION. That's NATION at Bet365. You must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Going on over to the Bet365 page. I want to get right to our bets here in this one. So we're going to jump down to the player prop tab. I've got a few different things that I'm looking at tonight. So we're going to play this one kind of a bunch of different ways. For those wondering, we are now at 230 units profit on the season. We are at $180 profit on the season. We lost $50 from the 230 we had the other night against Carolina, where we had Bobby McMann over 1.5 shots on goal, but we're going to spread things out. So bear with me here on this one. So go to the Bet365 tab. You're going to go to shots on goal. First bet, William Nylander over 2.5 shots on goal at plus 100. You can see there the last 5 games from Nylander. You see that in the tab he had 0, then he had 5, 1, 2, and 3. Now, one of the biggest reasons I want to go with Nylander over 2.5 at the even money here on this one, we're going to go 3/4 of a unit, $75, profits you 75 back. One of the biggest reasons is what I mentioned early on with Nylander. He's a lone ranger here, essentially, when it comes to skating the puck. Now, JT and McMann can help him in the offensive zone, but skating the puck, chances off the rush, breaking out of the zone, it's going to be William Nylander, and he's a guy who will shoot off the rush. He's also a guy who, once he gets into the offensive zone, will say, screw it, this is my puck, I'm taking it to the net, I'm coming around the circle, I'm getting a shot off. He's a guy who will get a puck from JT off of one draw, will step out, take 2 shots, shoot through a screen. Like, Nylander loves to shoot the puck, and I think if he's the focal point where he's the guy and it's not him and Matthews and they could share, I think he's gonna be a little horny tonight to shoot the puck more and be the guy who's like, hey, give me the puck, I'm the one going. So I'm taking over 2.5 at plus 100. So that's $75 on that one. Profits you 75 back, 3/4 of a unit. Now we're going to go down to multi-goal scorers. I know these are long shots. You need to play these responsibly, okay? I'm not recommending you play these ones big. These ones are A, part fun, B, part I think that we've got an attack angle on these. I'm not going to say edge, but a way to approach these, and you're getting the best number in market on both of these. So we're going to go to the multi-goal scorers tab on Bet365. You're going to find Auston Matthews, and we're going to start at 2 or more. Plus 800, 2 or more for Auston Matthews. We're going to go $15 on this one for Auston Matthews, 2 or more. Honestly, $15 here will pay us $120 profit on the night. One of my big thoughts on this is Matthews and this offense have shown that, like, scoring is not an issue. Matthews is not scoring at the 69 goal pace. I don't think he's going to do that. I wonder at this point if he even ever scores 60 again. But I think this is a guy who can hit 50, 55 again in his career. And what he's doing right now is much more similar to the years where he has put up 45, 50 goals in a season. Again, not the 60, 69 goals, but 50 to 60, I think, is within range. At any given moment, this is a guy who could just flip a switch and get going. And I will say, again, to his credit and to where I'm going with this one, is he's a guy who can get streaky, where all of a sudden it's like every night it seems like he's scoring. Scores against Carolina on Sunday. Yeah, it's a gift. McCabe gives it to him at an empty net on the side. But it doesn't matter. If you're a goal scorer, if you're a guy who's been struggling maybe at some point, and all of a sudden you put one in, you see one go through the uprights, you start to feel like you've got it. You feel the mojo. His shot looks better. He looks like he's a more willing participant in the offensive zone and not just a guy who's making plays and dishing around. He's a guy who's dangerous when he's got the puck on his stick now, just for that shot, the one-timer, the release. Like, it looks like it's getting better. Again, not as elite as we've seen it, but it looks like it's getting better. And I feel like he could pop off for a couple. So that's the first one. $15 profits you $120 on the night here. The second one, we're sticking with Auston Matthews, and this one is a little bit more for fun. But if the Leafs are going to win this one here tonight, the goal scoring's got to continue. The big boys have been the main culprits of the guys who are scoring a lot. So going back to them, Auston Matthews 3 or more plus 6,500. They're just going to go small, $5 on this one. So I don't know, what is that one? 5% of a bet here on it. 5% of a unit on this one. So Auston Matthews 3 or more plus 6,500. It's the same line of thinking. I'm just kind of feeling like, hey, he's popping off. He's looking better. Maybe he pots 2 here tonight. Why not 3? The empty net, the hat trick in hockey means a whole lot more than it does in other sports. you know, he gets to 2, the Leafs are leading. He gets a lot of empty net time. He gets a lot of late game situations. Why not be able to get 3? So Matthews plus 6,500 is your third bet of the night, and this one, $5 profits you $325. Now, you can obviously play that for less. I would say like the max I would go on this one is that 5% of a unit. You know, $5 on a $100 unit is what we're looking at. Profits you $325, but the biggest one of the night here is the William Nylander over 2.5 shots on goal. And just for context, if we win the Nylander one here, we're covering ourselves for the Matthews ones if they don't happen. And vice versa, if you win one of the Matthews ones, well, if you win the 2+, you're winning the 3+. If you win the 3+, sorry, you're winning the 2+. But if you win the 2+, you're covering yourself on the Nylander one as well. So that's the attack angle for tonight's best bets. If you did enjoy this video, hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Drop a comment down below. What are your thoughts on the game? Who's winning? What are your predictions? Do you like the best bets? Dislike the best bets? Have you been tailing along? How much money are you up? I want to hear it all. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Again, hit the like button, sub to the channel, Leafs Nation 401. I will be back following tonight's game right here on this channel for another edition of Leafs Nation After Dark. Thanks for watching. See you all tonight. Until then, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.